to have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with me on that?
You've like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Yes, good evening. Welcome to the Spurs 5. It's Thursday night, and there's 4 of us, and Perchy is here. We have subbed out Sean and Stel for Perchy, so no pressure, Perchy. You've got 2 YouTubers' boots to fill. We've got Lubo here as always, and we've got Johnny back inside the house. We are fully aware there's Champions League going on, but what you've got to do, have that on in the background, turn the volume off and turn the volume up on us, and we'll keep it lively and keep it interesting for you. Tonight, we've got a packed show. We're going to be talking about the game against Villarreal the other night, the 1-0 masterclass, or maybe not. We'll be looking forward to Brighton. We'll be looking forward to Doncaster to see if Lubo's mate Daniel Levy is still in charge of ticket prices for that one. We're going to be talking about Harry Kane. Lots of talk lately about Harry Kane. Is he coming back? Is he going to Barcelona? Yada, yada, yada. What I do know is he's in fine form this season already, scoring lots of goals. And we're going to be talking about Xavi Simons. What is the best position for him and what is going to happen to him in the next 2 or 3 months? You lot, smash the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. The link is in the chat and it is pinned, so please do that, and we will try and get to some comments as we move along. Keep it clean in the chat. If you want to disagree with us, feel free to. Just don't make it personal. That's all you've got to do. Guys, how are we all doing? Is everyone all right?
All good. Yeah, if anyone's wondering more, I can see a few comments while I've got the glasses on. I actually had a procedure today, and I got an allergy to the chemical, so my eyes are a bit swollen, hence the reason why I got this. Don't want to frighten people before the watershed, so that's why.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I just thought you were in a sunny climate somewhere, and you were mocking the rest of us. Yeah. We know. By the way, for anyone that cares, Frankfurt 0, Galatasaray 1. I will keep you updated with scores throughout the night because I know people obviously care about the Champions League. All the other games are 0-0. Club Brugge, by the way, battered Monaco. Club Brugge 4, Monaco 1. They just keep producing players. And in the other game tonight, I saw it, can't remember it. It was Copenhagen 2, Leverkusen 2. So I'll keep you updated tonight with all of the scores. Guys, let's start with Villarreal at home. So Villarreal, a decent team, a decent Spanish team. They've started the La Liga season with 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. Player 4-4-2, got a lot of players we know, ex-Spurs, ex-Chelsea, ex-Arsenal. It was billed to be this great opening game at White Hart Lane. And it didn't quite work out that way, but we did get the win. Who would like to take this one and kick us off with some live... Johnny's in. Go on, Johnny.
No, listen, look. I mean, I think we look at Villarreal. They're not a big team as we think, but to say that they're mugs or we should be wiping them apart is nonsense. I think the 2021-22, they got to semi-finals of the Champions League. Hasn't been great. We don't have a great record against La Liga teams. I think we got 1 win in our last 7. Right. We got a very good record at home. We're unbeaten in our last 21 games now. But I always thought, having done a bit of homework on Villarreal, I never thought it was going to be an easy game. Listen, it was a hard watch, Sava, guys. Yeah, it was a hard watch. Let's not make any bones about it. For me, phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 is very good. Phase 2 isn't bad. Phase 3 is absolutely shocking right now. And you can clearly see that it's not working out. Mm-hmm. But we have to look at the positives here. You know, we've played 5 games and we've conceded 1 goal. Has it been pretty? No. Has it been great all the time? No. But we're looking for progression. And for me, that's progression in comparison to what we did, last season. It's huge progression. But it's not eye candy at the moment. And, as football fans, we want to go there and we want to see the free flowing football. And it just kept breaking down, sloppy passes. And everyone was culpable, to be honest with you. Kudos, Romero, all of them. I thought Bergvall, for his age, is just ridiculous. As I said, the first time I saw him against QPR in a friendly, I just stood up and I said, wow, this kid is something else. He's way above any academy kid that we've produced in years. And he is the best young talent that we possess at the club. He's going all the way. And there were times in that game where he seemed to be the mature person trying to bring it out from the back. Richarlison, he was very poor. He didn't get a lot of service, but no excuses. Poor is poor. Jed Spence. The thing with Jed Spence, I think people have to realise, people keep saying, oh, he's not great in the final third. Well, he's not going to be great in the final third because he's playing on the wrong side. He's a right back, okay? Get him playing on that right-hand side and you'll see the defensive part of his game and you'll see the attacking part of his game. But it's nullified. And I do wonder, or worry, should I say, whether or not when Destiny comes back, whether he will come straight into that team, not because Jed's not good enough, but more a case of he will offer more attacking threat overlapping with Xavi Simons. I won't dwell on Xavi because I know we're going to talk about in the meantime later on. But, it's all about the 3 points. No one gives a shit when the game's over and on to the next game. The 3 points is all we came for. Thomas Frank's first game in the Champions League, he looked like he just won the cup when we saw him go down the tunnel with Cuti Romero, which you could see quite clearly. There's a good camaraderie there. But listen, wasn't great, very messy, terrible passing and transition. But I left the ground happy in the knowledge it's 3 points and on to the next.
Yeah, I mean, Perchy, how did you see it? And feel free, Bergvall. I mean, is Bergvall great as what he says? Was he the mature one? How did we play?
Bergvall, for me, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Like, I thought Bergvall was an all right game. I didn't think he was awful. I didn't think he was amazing. But I don't know how he got man of the match. I thought Van de Ven, personally, for me, was the best player on the pitch. He was outstanding. I thought Van de Ven.
He was good.
I think Thursday night showed us that there's a lot of work, right? And we had this conversation about Bournemouth as well. There's a lot of work when we're playing against decent teams now, like Villarreal are no pushovers. I watch a lot of La Liga. Villarreal are a good football side. They're very hard to beat. So let's be fair with it, right? And the goal came from an absolute calamity. Like it wasn't like a sensational bit of football that created an absolute wonder goal. The keeper almost threw it into his own net at the beginning. And look, it is what it is. You take it. Look, the one thing I'll always say, I'll kind of touch on it in the sense of, for me, that result is, you don't care about that result if you get 16 points at the end of the group stages and you finish in the top 8, right? Yep. Get another 13 and you go, who cares about a crappy 1-0 win against Villarreal? One thing I will say, those are sort of games yesterday that under old regimes, we don't win that game because we leak goals. I think we're organised. I think we want to touch on the whole Xavi Simons a bit later as well. So I'll kind of just sort of say, the one thing I do want to say though is we don't look balanced. And I know it almost is, you're not allowed to say it, is if we'd all signed a left-sided player that
not allowed to say it. These lot abused me last week for saying this. Abused me, these boys did, for wanting a left winger. They were all happy. They were all happy.
We weren't happy, Sava. Come on.
They weren't happy. No, I'm not having it. Not having it. They were all
all
happy.
on a left-sided player.
They all said they wanted Matisse Tell to be the left winger, and I'm not having it.
No, look, I think
William Tell.
I think the key bit. I think the key bit for me is like there is a lot of progress that is there. I think one of the massive key things, again, as I always say for me, is the stark nature of how organised we are, and I think the manager has come straight in right and gone, oh, we can't be conceding the amount of goals this team's conceded last season, and that is point one, be hard to beat, and we are right. It's taking it. We're not easy to beat like we used to be. Now we've got to find that focus in the final third. Well, Richarlison, I don't care. He's crap. I'll say it. He's crap. I thought he was awful on Thursday. Like, the fact he stayed on as long as he did. Look, my only hope with it is Kolo Muani will naturally get fitter and fitter and surely has to play as the 9. Like, people moaned. I did see a lot of people moaning about him when he came on. He's not fit. The guy hasn't played football for ages, right?
77 days between his last game, by the way.
Sure.
77 days.
No football player is going to be able to do that immediately. Look, and I'll touch on the final part. Was for me, Mohamed Kudus. I thought he looked frustrated. I thought he was doing all he could to try something. He's the one spark at the moment. I think Simons will become that, and we'll talk about it a bit later. But for me, Mohamed Kudus is the real spark in this football team. I watch him and go, I love everything about you as a football player. You'll take players on. You'll cut in. You'll dart in. You'll run in between. You're causing problems. As a striker, you'd love a Mohamed Kudus in your team. We just got to find that striker at the moment that goes, okay, I'm going to get in positions that will get me goals with him doing all the hard work that he does.
Perchy, can I just ask a quick question? Do you not think, though? I mean, I love Kudus, right? But his game needs to improve. He holds on to the ball too long. There are moments where
I think he has to hold on to the ball more, though.
But why, Johnny? He's got. You see, your mate
at West Ham as well. He did it at West Ham as well.
Yeah, but hang on. But Johnny, sorry, I'll jump in here because Kudus for me at the moment. Berbatov said this after the game the other night, by the way. He said, if you look, he's looking up for a striker to play a 1-2 off. And he's got Richarlison, who's absolutely shite. He's looking for a playmaker in the middle to play a 1-2 with and to give and go. He's got no one. So literally...
Stray balls. He was culpable as well as anyone with a few stray balls.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of him.
That's not my point. But my point isn't a few stray balls. My point is, if you get a top player like that, he needs somebody to play off. He needs somebody for the give and goes. And at the moment, he's got no one in the number 10 and Richarlison up front, who is, by the way, I'm going to say it, I'll piss people off. Richarlison's the worst technical striker I've ever seen at Tottenham. He is atrocious. Like,
well, you haven't seen a lot of strikers then.
Truly atrocious. Like this guy has got a worse first touch than the under 60. He is. Anyway, we'll get to that later. But Kudus needs people to. He's got no one to pass to. He's got no one to do 1-2s with. It's frustrating.
Isn't that the problem when we're again about the imbalance, right? Because the thing is this is why I always wanted Simons down the middle. I think him on the left, we're almost shoehorning him to play on the left because we've got no one that is actually any good out there. But the problem is our now what I would say makeshift 10s. Sarr for me is not a 10. Bergval's not really a 10 either for me. Like, and that's the key bit for me. The problem I get what you're saying, Savra, in the sense of got the ball out on that right-hand side. He needs someone to collect it, but Bergval's not that player to go and say, put your foot on the ball, pick it up, give and go. He's more of that sort of, I want to run around and be a bit chaotic, so to speak.
Are you joking? Really? I mean, Bergval's
not that type of player.
I don't think he's that sort of player for me.
Bergval's got great peripheral vision. If you watch how he plays, when he gets the ball and he's moving the ball on, he's looking for the return.
That's not what I'm saying, Johnny. I don't actually disagree with when he has the ball. I don't mind him because he is one of those. He can jink, he can move with it. The difference is We almost need that player in the middle. That's why I don't mind him playing next to a Bentancur or a Paulinho in certain games, because he can drive from deep. What you need in that 10 we need is someone that will pick up the ball in a tight space and then get a ball out wide or get a ball down the middle. Bergvaul's not really that player to go and pick out an intricate pass.
He's a driving player, right? But for me, he's a pick up the ball. I'm going to drive forward with it, but he's not a right. Give me the ball. Let me take a touch. Let me take a second. Let me scan the pitch. Give and go. Give and go. He's a driver of the ball, and this is why. And we're going to talk about it in more detail. We've got to get Simons centrally, I
think Simons would be better. Yeah,
and anybody up front that isn't Richarlison. Anybody. I'm talking about Lubo. How old are you, Lubo? Get up front. If I see Richarlison one more time for Spurs, honestly, I hate him more than I hated Enoch and Levy.
Can I tell you?
The season's coming along. The season started well, hasn't it?
It has, It has score-wise.
Listen, you buy an old wreck, you knock it down, you start building it again. And this is what Frank's done after, yes, I know we won the Europa League, but the last 2 years were a complete, total shit show. There were no tactics. We were wide open. We were ripped apart. We were going backwards at the rate of knots. We all saw in the last 2 years, each half season, it was 36, 30, then 24, then 14 points. So Frank's come in, and it's going to take him time. At the moment, he's putting foundations in. He's not going to be able to go out and buy the best furniture just yet. He's got to wait, hopefully, for January and maybe next year to do that. So for me, the way it started, I think for me, I'm delighted to get 4 wins out of 5 and a performance that we got against PSG when I sat on here and I predicted a 5-1 defeat. I thought we were going to go out and get absolutely...
And Arsenal.
I said, yeah. And so for me, yes, we know he's missing players. We know it's unbalanced. You talk about the left-hand side. Johnny, I agree. Spence goes flying down the left, but the problem is he's never going to whip it in with his left foot. He's got to stop, back, gives the defence time to reorganise, to get back into position. And that's where, personally, although I saw something today that Porro's stats are amazing this season, I'd be alternating between Porro and Spence on the right. Bring Udogie in if he comes back in and he's going to show the form that he showed in the early part of his Spurs career, then great. It wasn't great. It wasn't pretty. But isn't it good? When you're not playing well. I mean, it was really poor from both sides, wasn't it? It was more akin to a Europa or a Conference League game than a Champions League game. But isn't it good when you're playing that badly? You can still nick a 1-0 win.
Exactly, Lubo. There was only one man trying to be the star man last night, and that was the fucking referee.
Oh.
I mean, the referee was absolutely. I don't know what he was doing. Don't know where he was going with it. It made no sense. Let's be honest. Xavi Simons should have gone. No two ways about it.
Yeah, Simons should have been sent off.
Simons should have been sent off. They were going down. There was one incident where Saul went for a ball. His foot was up, and he brought it down, and the guy's gone down like he's been poleaxed. He wasn't anywhere near him. I mean,
I don't know. I think the referee. I had this conversation with Chris about it. I thought the referee. Apart from that, I thought the Simons one he got wrong. I think he should have booked him again. But I think the problem is it wasn't necessarily that he got the necessary decisions wrong. It was the fact that he was so immediately was brandishing yellow cards early, and it was like.
It's all about him.
There was no reason that game needed 8 yellow cards.
No,
like we watched that game, right?
You guys had a better view watching it on telly than I did from the stands. Was that first Simons booking? Was it a yellow? For me, it looked hard.
It's a 2025 booking, Lubo.
Yeah.
Like now where, oh my God, he sneezed on me, yellow card type thing. I mean. Yeah, by the letter of the law, but I mean, it was soft.
I think
it was very soft.
I think the referee at the start set the tone when he was booking players. Like sometimes you go, like, come on, like let the game play out a bit. Like here now, like it was stoppages off. Like as I said, that game didn't need 8 yellow cards. It wasn't an 8 yellow card game, right? It was like there wasn't anything in there where I go, God, how's he not get booked in for that kind of tackle? But
he was having players. He was pulling players apart for a conversation. It was all about him. It was a guy who was in the limelight, and he was going to make every moment of it count. And I think, look, the game wasn't great without him, but the ref just made it even worse with a stop-start. To be honest,
right,
but I thought the keeper really brought out his inner Onana with that first goal. That was beautiful.
Well, thank God he did, because other than that, the game was going to end a really boring 0-0, wasn't it?
About cross.
What about the back? What about the backspin on the cross? Obviously from Villarreal.
Have you noticed? He crossed the ball and everyone had almost turned away because it was like, it's straight into the keeper's arms. It just trickled in.
I couldn't believe it.
It's an interesting one, guys, and we will get into it a bit more later. But Lubo, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. I think when we're critiquing a game, we can critique the game. But if somebody had turned around and said to all of us 4 weeks ago, right, you're going to be 5 games in to the season, you've won 4 of them, yeah, and you've conceded 1 goal, we'd bite your hand off. So in some respects, we are all being very greedy. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about for this Villarreal game was, I think what a lot of people, you could see the day after, a lot of people getting frustrated that, oh my God, we're not very fluid up top and our attacking side of things. But guys, every good club, right? Every good coach, every good manager, every successful team there's been, they build the foundations from the back. 100%. And Thomas Frank has told us in numerous interviews, first thing I did, I needed to sort out the defense. Yes, we're not fun to watch going forward at the moment, but I would also attribute that down, guys, to, there is a question coming, don't worry. I'd also attribute that down to Xavi Simons and Mawani, 2 of the forwards that we've bought. Xavi Simons joined the day before the international break, so has had, 2 free training sessions at Spurs. Mawani joined the day of the deadline, so has had, 2 sessions and clearly isn't fit. So I think that that's going to get better. But are Spurs fans, Johnny, fans panicking too much about how we go forward at the moment?
Yeah, listen, first of all, to Nick Ange Postecoglou's own words, season 3 is always better than season 1 and 2. He's spot on. He's spot on, because we are definitely better. Look, I think they are. Listen, like you, Sava, I'm a long-time admirer of Thomas Frank. I've watched far too many Brentford games, unfortunately, but I never thought this day would come that he would sign for the club. And, you know, when I put all my faith in him, there was a lot of doubt in Thomas's about him. They weren't all just Angephiles, people who love Ange and didn't want to hear anyone else. These were people who were wanting a bigger name, and they looked down their noses at Thomas Frank. But I think, you know, watching those early videos before he signed, those training videos, talking to the staff and everything and analysing, people started to get a little bit more hooked in. Mm-hmm. Then the Arsenal game, where everyone expected us to lose, and we didn't. Then the PSG performance, then the Burnley. The only blip really has been a deflected goal against Bournemouth. The one goal we've conceded, and I always say it's the same with Ange. All I wanted to see, all I asked for him was to show progression. And we never saw it. We saw regression. And I can see progression clear as day. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Nowhere near perfect. No. But he has stated he's come in and true to his word. He's not playing with words. He said, the defence is no good. You conceded 63 goals last season, right? Yeah. I need to start with the defence. And true to his word. Now, before the game, I always like to get in there early to watch the training for setups, warm-ups and stuff. And I always watched Ange. I enjoy watching Thomas Frank and Cochrane's setups. The way they're pushing each other for the set pieces, the balls coming in. I've also seen some training videos where, imagine a big elastic band, yeah? And you're forcing yourself back on this band, yeah? And it's pulling you backwards, but they've got another guy who's nudging you, like one of the trainers. So the player sits inside the big rubber band, he's trying to pull, the ball's being pushed that way, and a coach is pushing him. What it does is it builds up the strength. It shows them how to hold up the ball, to be strong in the set pieces. But just look at those set pieces. The way we set up. I mean, look, setting at the back post, we're veering it up. And there were, I mean, listen, he said himself, I don't practice set pieces. Whereas we know full well that Thomas Frank will use any and every advantage or every little tiny piece that he can get out of it. Mm-hmm. And I've got to be honest with you, if you're not happy at this stage, then you're going to be hard to be pleased at any stage throughout the season. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I just want to I echo what Johnny said. He's right. Like, I think we just got... Look, I think I can get why people are worried about us creating the final third, but that's going to come, right? That will naturally come. You've got to bear in mind, we've got 3 new attacking players that came in relatively in this window, right? That are all still working on finding it. You've got to bear in mind, Xavi Simons is not even playing in what I would say his natural position. Kolo Muani's not fit. I think we just give it a bit of time to see when that comes. That will happen, right? Naturally, that will happen. Frank's the man. Frank's the man. My manager.
I mean, Lugo. Sorry, Lugo. Go.
Just finishing off what the guys said. I just think that if transport yourself forward 18, 19, 20 months, because I'm sure I'll take a punt here. Frank will be at the club in the next season.
Yeah,
I think the progression that there would have been from where we are today. We're playing without a 10. We're playing a 10 at 11. We haven't got a prolific 9. So for me, those are really key areas that he will put right. Everything, you know. For me, yes, it was disappointing we didn't replace Sonny. We did probably had 3 or 4 months to do it. It didn't happen, but I prefer, you know, to look at other positives. Polinia came in, doing a really good job. Kudus has done a good job. I just want more than end product from him. And I think that if we can get him on the ball but further up the pitch, then I think that will happen.
Surely for that to happen, Lubo, you've got to get the players around him to make that happen. You can't stick him in with no number 10 and Richarlison as the centre forward and we go, right, create more. For who? Like, who's he? I want to talk about a few individual players in a minute, if that's okay, guys. I want to talk about a few good, few bad. I want to talk about, and I want to start with, by the way, I want to start with the good and the bad. Guys and girls, smash the like button. Come on. I know we're not as busy as normal tonight because the Champions League, but 115 likes in 28 minutes is pretty diabolical. Please, can we smash that button? That would be much appreciated. For anyone watching, yes, Man City 0, Napoli 0. Napoli did go down to 10 men after about 20 minutes. And then De Bruyne was the guy sacrificed by Antonio Conte as the substitute. So make of that what you will. So 0-0 in this game. It's all Man City, as you can imagine. Let's start, guys. I want to talk about I thought was how this guy did not get man of the match still baffles me 2 days later. I thought Mickey van der Ven, chaps, was absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to say it. Lubo's going to hate it. He's been our best defender this year by a country mile. He looks... I had question marks about, is he just good because of the pace? What's he going to do when he's asked to play in a more orthodox... He's been brilliant, guys. And how good was he the other night, Lubo?
It's superb. We all wondered, didn't we, the interesting thing is that Frank plays a very high line, doesn't he? You saw. I mean, we saw.
Yeah.
Amazingly,
He presses high. He doesn't play high line. He presses high and then drops off, doesn't he?
but if you were looking at the analysis for the Man City game, you saw the back four were in their half a lot of the time. You know, they were going 1-on-1, man to man, right the way across the whole team. So it was interesting to see whether he is going to be, how he plays defensively. That would be a nice 3 to get next season.
Yeah, I was thinking, if you offered me right now, that's our next 3 signings. But we'll talk about Kane a bit later. Yeah.
I'd probably take Semenya instead of Savinho, but both players would be pretty good. No, Van der Ven got called once, didn't he? And he was lucky to stay on the pitch in the last few minutes on Tuesday night. But apart from that, I think he's been nigh on perfect in the first 6 games of this season. You're quite right, Nita. It's not a quick fix season.
Yeah.
It's you're building a house or you're going up through the gears in a car. You don't go from 1 to 5. You start at first. Second.
Lubo, the problem is, I think a lot of fans think it's a quick fix because what they're seeing, I might be wrong here. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I think what they're seeing is Spurs won a trophy, therefore he's got something great to build on. For me, I look at it and go, I'm looking at the 22 defeats and finishing 17th and the 60 odd goals conceded and saying, Jesus, this is a big job to build from, right? That's how I'm seeing it.
That's right.
He's bought a house he's bought a beautiful house on quicksand. It's only when you move in, you realise the floorboards are gone and the whole thing's starting to sink. That's
right. What you need, if you're going to win a trophy, you've got to come away and look at it and think, right, next season, what he's built here is sustainable.
Yeah.
What Ange built wasn't sustainable. And I think... And I mean, in isolation, Bilbao was fantastic. It was the most superb. The whole day was great. The atmosphere in the ground, literally from 2 hours before kickoff, was just amazing. The fans didn't stop singing. But when you came away from that and you looked at it in the cold, you know, and you had a great parade 2 days later, when you came away in the summer and you looked at it, you thought to yourself, Christ, I hope he goes. For Christ's sake, get rid of him, bring in someone else, because it's not sustainable. We're not in the Europa this season. We're in the Champions League. Ange got away with it because the team overall, take away his bad coaching, the side was good enough, as we saw, to win a European trophy with the teams that were there. We had a bit of luck, which you always need it in any cup. We missed out. We missed Bilbao. We missed Lazio. We missed Porto. We missed Roma. In the knockout stages, we missed Galatasaray. But at the end of the day, you can only play against who you're drawn against, and we won it. So, you know, for me, it wasn't sustainable. It was a great day. It was a one-off. I mean, the 3 games pretty much at Frankfurt, at Bodo, and in Bilbao were literally one-offs. And it was superb. But it wasn't sustainable. This will be sustainable. My personal feeling is our first chance of a trophy, if I'm looking 2 years ahead, will be end of next season with another Europa League trophy. I think we're good enough to finish 6th, definitely this season. We've still got a lot of work to do. And hopefully we're there or thereabouts when the transfer window opens in 21 games' time. So, no.
Are we better than last year? The answer is yes.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, like, all I get quoted is, in his first 10 games, he never lost a game. He was unbeaten.
And what in his next 66?
But Thomas Frank's already lost one. So actually, Ange is a better coach. I've heard it all, Lubo. I've heard it all. But if we watch football with our eyes. You know, I'll never forget that celebration when we scored against Sheffield United in the 97th minute. It was like fans were like celebrating like we won the World Cup. We got to move on from that. But I just think, you know, you only have to. For me, the thing that I love more than anything, well, I've had to endure a guy looking at his shoes for 2 years. I now watch a guy who comes out, you know, with his iPad, pulling players over when there's a break, putting his arm around them, talking to him, watching Cochrane come out and pass instructions, telling them what's going on in the pitch. That for me is a breath of fresh air, and that's all you want, like hands-on coaching. And I think it's been sorely missing, and I think the players absolutely love it. I'll be honest. I think
they look happy. They look happier, Johnny.
Well, when shit's not going right, when things aren't going right, what do? You look to the bench, right? Okay, you look at each other, then you look to the bench. But when nothing's coming back from the bench, then what do? Listen, I'm old school. When I used to coach kids football, all I did was talk throughout the entire game, telling them move up, do this, do that, try and encourage them and help them from the sidelines. So standing there looking at the floor is completely alien to me, and alien after watching I don't want our coaches to be Mikel Arteta, but at the same time, we don't want statues, do we?
It's funny, you talk about Frank, Sam, I was watching your show yesterday morning, and people were talking about his early record, and they were talking about Pochettino's first season. Well, in Pochettino's first season, we got 7 points out the first 18.
Yeah.
And we've got 9 points out the first 12 already. So,
but Lubo, wasn't that?
I love Poch, and look what Poch did at the end. Look what Poch did in year 2 and 3.
Got a better team, though. In fairness, Frank has got a better squad, I reckon, than Poch had when he started.
Yeah. But the difference is, Johnny, when we look at it like that, and the point was, somebody on my show yesterday morning, Johnny, turned around and they were like, what they said was, Poch's team would have smashed that Villarreal. And it was like, yeah, Poch's team in its peak after he'd been at Spurs and built it, yes, but not the team Poch inherited. Now, this is the same thing. Thomas Frank, Percy, I'll come to you. Thomas Frank has inherited a team that, whichever way you want to dice it up, lost 26 games of football last year. And you know what? If I'm not wrong, Lubo will tell me. Lubo's like a human calculator. I think we conceded 126 goals in 2 seasons in the league.
Yeah, about that. It was about 60
Around
both.
126, 128. It was
about 60. It was 60 odd each seat.
Lost 34 league games in 18 months.
Right.
Mad.
Big up to Jay Ham. Sava talk shit. My wife tells me this all the time. And you know what I tell her?
Yeah.
Nothing. She scares me. Nothing. I don't tell her anything. She scares me. Big up to you. Thank you, Jay. Oh, we just started to... I've just noticed a few trolls. I like it. This guy's a troll. Follows me around anywhere. You're looking at the wrong issues. Cuss.
You got rid of Tony. You got rid of Tony, didn't you?
I had to get rid of Tony. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm all for the Ange chat, but I really thought that after last year, we might stop talking about Ange in every single comment that people make.
Go bother Wolfie now. Go bother Wolfie.
Yeah, Wolfie's waiting
for you. Go bother
you.
Wolfie now. We don't want Ange chat now. Go bother Wolfie. Oi. He loves you lot now. He's a big fanboy.
Just to say... So I'm just going to say, for all you Davinson Sanchez fans out there, he did score a beautiful own goal for Frankfurt.
Jamie, quit, Jamie. I'm good. Listen, I'm feeling in a good mood today, so I'm going to let you off. Not saying this. Relax, dude. This is a football channel. You've got the platform to just talk football, right? Just talk football. Me not liking Ange doesn't make me a prick. Just relax. All you've got to do is talk football. I understand that you liked him. That's fine. I'll argue your point, but not everything needs to be you're a prick. All right? I think that's fair, guys, right? I'm giving him a chance. I'm not blocking. Just relax. Just talk football. All right? Because it's getting a little bit silly in the chat. People are telling each other to do one. It's bloody football. All right? Calm down. Right. Perchy, as I was coming to you anyway. Last thing I want to talk about on the game from the other night before we move on. Listen, we said Van der Ven was absolutely exceptional. Other than that, I thought Bentancur was decent. Kudus was decent, but Perchy, round this off for me. Dude, right? Oh, hang on, we're getting all the trolls. Let me just block them. Sorry, I've tried to give people the benefit of the doubt, and for some reason, people can't act like adults. 1 second, there we go. Stanley is more mature than some of these people, and he's a 10-month-old puppy that can't speak. Perchy, talk to me. We've talked that there's some good performances, but Richarlison, tough.
Should I say why I really feel, or should I?
No, go in. Don't be fooled by Johnny and Lubo and their love for him.
I think we need to DNA test Richarlison, because there is no way that man is Brazilian. He's Bolivian. I'm adamant. He is the Bolivian number 9. No,
he's Brazilian.
There's no Brazilian that bad at football. I'm sorry, and not a bicycle kick against Burnley is going to change my opinion. Look, look. By the way, I will put others in it. I don't think we've got a good striker at Tottenham Hotspur. I don't think we've got any. So you can use Richarlison for this conversation, but I'll probably be having the same one about Solanke if he starts up top. We desperately need a number 9. And I know we're going to talk on maybe an ex-legend maybe a bit later, and we'll have that, because there's a conversation I really do want to have about that, which I think is quite an interesting one. But surely, after sorting out the left wing situation, getting in a striker has to be almost priority number 2 after that left wing situation, because let's be fair, Kolo Muani is an unknown. We know he's a good football player, right? But he's an unknown in the sense of, will he be here after this season, right? Is he just going to be here for the season, and then we kick the can down the road and we've got to sort it out next season? Let's see, right? And I'll kind of leave it on this, because I don't rate Richarlison. If you do, go on. I don't care, but he's crap for me.
What about Solanke?
Oh, either. By the way, this goes for both of them, by the way. And what I'm about to say is my point. Lubo sings about we've got our Tottenham back. Let's see how these new owners, or the children, as we like to call the children, care about it. Let's see what they do about Richarlison and Solanke. Are they just going to go, do you know what? We need better. You guys are going. We're going to cut our losses and go elsewhere and find someone. Or are we going to do what we usually do, which we do the whole, we'll see if they get better. We'll try and get better. No. Both of them aren't good enough. Goodbye. Look, if it's Kolo Muani, at the moment he's almost like the substitute teacher that's come in on a year at a school, and he's going at the end of it. So you've got to look at what's the opportunity next summer. For me, if we want to be a proper football club, you've got to get a better number 9, and a number 9 that isn't his first trait that everyone goes, but he works hard. No. I want a striker that scores goals, right? A striker that you go, you're dangerous.
How about a striker that has a first touch as a start?
I just want a striker that you go, okay, I look at you and I know you're going to get me 20 goals this season. I don't look at any of our strikers that will get me 20 goals this season in all competitions. I'm not even talking about just the league, right? I'm not.
Hang on, Perchy, just for some reality check here. Visser, who was the top non-penalty goal scorer of the season, scored 19 last season, right? So when we ask for this 20 goal a season person, it isn't easy to find them. There's loads of strikers.
Everyone else seems to get hold of them, though.
But they don't, because like I just said, last season, the top non-penalty goal scorer was Visser with 19 goals. So, that isn't the truth.
You're telling me...
They're all keeping, Perchy, they're all keeping the shirt warm for Harry.
We'll get to Harry. We'll get to Harry later. We're going to get to Harry later.
Kolo Muani is everything those other two strikers aren't. I mean,
I agree. My point isn't about how good Kolo Muani is. My point is there's no guarantee he's here after this season.
Oh, well, you have to
I
see
like him, by the way.
don't
I
you?
think he's going to be. I think he's the one, by the way. And Sava, we actually had this conversation on Monday. If all three of them are fit, right? What do you do? And I mean it. Not easily. We go, oh, Kolo Muani's the better striker. So he plays. Kolo Muani's not actually employed by Tottenham Hotspur. The other two are. What happened? Like, I would easily go, Kolo Muani's the best striker. He starts. Is it one of those where you go, well, what do you do with two strikers that are employed by the club, are being sidelined because of a guy that is not guaranteed to be here after the season?
It doesn't look. The thing is, at the end of the day, it's about winning bloody football matches. Listen, PSG paid 95 million euros for him for a reason, right? He was absolutely electric at Eintracht Frankfurt. Listen, he wasn't as electric. Granted,
Who's that, sorry?
PSG. Pardon?
Who's that, sorry? Ekitike, did you say?
No. Kolo Muani.
Oh, Kolo Muani. Sorry, yeah. Only because Frank
pounds.
had Ekitike and yeah. Sorry, yeah.
95 million euros. PSG.
Yeah, no. Kolo Muani's a good football
He's
player.
mobile. He's everything that we don't have. He's mobile. He's a mobile centre forward. And imagine having Kolo Muani, a Lookman on the left, Simmons in the middle, and Kudos on that right-hand side.
Yeah, imagine having a left winger, Johnny. Imagine having a left winger, Johnny. Yes.
Imagine. But look, the thing is
I
here.
want Ryan Sessegnon back at this stage, I'll be honest.
I don't think, Perchy, that we can just say, well, he's on loan, therefore he must take second fiddle.
No, I'm not saying that.
No. I think whoever is the player that's on form keeps the jersey. And if it's Solanke, fine.
Don't disagree. No, but Johnny, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But though these aren't the conversations I'm having there aren't ones as fans that we have. We just want the best player playing.
Yeah.
But Thomas Frank has to manage the squad, and he will have players like Solanke. Whether I agree or disagree with it, it's not about my opinion on this, but he will have the likes of Solanke knocking on his door, the likes of Richarlison going, hang on, this fella's not even here next season. I'm meant to be your guy. I'm not starting. What's the plan? By the way, I'm not against it, because if it's a way that forces out a player like Solanke out of this football club, it forces a Richarlison out of this football club, and we can actually go and buy a proper number 9. For me, the number 9 is the one player that if I was Tottenham, and if these, as Lubo tells me, that these new owners, the owners are here to stay, and the kids want to go and get a number 9 of magnitude. I mean, break your transfer budget and go bang. We're getting, like, for example, I know it's a different situation, but like Newcastle did with Voltemade, it doesn't have to be him.
Give us some names. The chat are asking you, Perchy. Let's put you on the spot. Give us some number 9s, and you're not allowed to say the word Harry or the word Kane.
Give me a moment. Go to someone else, and I'll give you 5 names. I'll go for 5 names. Give me 5.
I'll come back to you in a minute. Go on, Lou.
5 names.
I think you'll find between now and the next transfer window, Frank is going to pick whoever he thinks is suitable for the opposition we're playing. That seems to be what he's doing every game.
But is that out of choice, or is that out of he's being forced to do that?
I think a bit of both.
Do you really think if he had, let's be fair, Man City don't have to do this because they got Erling Haaland, right? Sure. Liverpool have now got Isak, right? If you look at it, these clubs don't. Arsenal have now got Gyökeres. They're not having to do it out of choice. They're picking their number 9. The fact that we've not bought a proper 9, Lubo, again, like we've not bought a proper 11, means that Frank now every game is having to go, oh, who's the best of a bad bunch?
Can I just say though?
Hang on, Johnny. What he's got Richie who's fit. He's got Solanke who's injured.
Shit.
Right.
Did you say Richie who's shit?
Fit.
Shit. Are you saying fit or shit?
I said Richie's fit, Solanke's injured, he's now back in training.
Yeah.
So, and Kolo Muani we saw on Tuesday is nowhere near match fit. So for me, right, for me personally, what would I be doing? I'd be starting with Odebear on the left at the moment and playing Simmons in the 10. Again, it depends on whether you're home or away, what the opposition is, whether he wants to play Sarr in the 10 and lock up midfield and be more pragmatic. And that's his choice. For me, until he manages to go out and buy players and Moani gets fit.
Can I just say though?
Isn't it frustrating though, guys? Just quickly,
That's
sorry,
how
Johnny,
his two choices, Sam. That's how the two choices.
I know, but isn't it frustrating?
Into those two?
Isn't it frustrating that whichever players we look at on the left or up front, we're all looking and going, like.
Can you just say though, Sava, you're not wrong, but I'll say one thing. Like I said before, because I watched too many Brentford games. When I saw Ollie Watkins, him get hold of Ollie Watkins was a good player, but he certainly became a better player under Thomas Frank. Now, when he left, they brought in Ivan Toney from Peterborough, and I was saying to my mate, Jesus Christ, this guy's absolutely shocking. First three games, he can't trap a bag of cement. He's all over the place. He can't score a goal. And look what he became. So what I'm saying to you is, I think when you look at someone like Iriola, for example, what Iriola did with Solanke, so he found a way of playing Solanke to his strengths and kept him to it. What Ange did with Solanke, Solanke thought he was prime Harry Kane, dropping deep, trying to spray a ball. I mean, that's not your game, mate. That's not your game. And I do think that Thomas Frank is astute enough to try it, even if he thinks those strikers are substandard to what he really wants. I believe that he will find a system or a way of playing them to get more out of them than we saw out of Solanke, more of what we saw out of Richarlison. That's what I think.
I get that, Johnny, but isn't the difference there? And I don't disagree with what you're saying. But if I'm gonna look at it from the other side, when he picked up Toney, when he picked up Watkins, they weren't 28 years of age. And I think there's a real difference when you're picking up people like Richarlison and Solanke. They're at that end now of their career. It's very difficult. Listen,
Iriola did it though, didn't he?
Yeah, Iriola did it. There's many examples down the years, though, right, of strikers that have that one good season. It doesn't mean that they then kick on and have great years to come. Look, can we all agree on the panel? And I'm going to go to Perch in a second because I'm hoping that he's played Football Manager for the last 5 minutes.
I'll tell you what, it's been hard, actually. But go on.
Of course it has, right? Can we all agree, though, that we desperately need a left winger next summer or in January, and then next summer we've got to sort out this number 9. And I'm not saying we don't need anything else. I think we do need to go get that number 9 that we go, you are the main man, not more Solankes and Richies and what, like someone that you say, who's your number 1 striker? Boom. Who's your number 1 left winger? Boom. And that's what I think that we're lacking. But Perchy, before we move on to another subject, have you found us some strikers?
Do you know what? Do you know what the hard thing is here? And I'll tell you this.
Here we go.
I was thinking, I was going, I'd like him. Oh, he's just signed for someone. I like him. He's just signed. So I was thinking of the likes of Jonathan David, where he's just joined a team. I was thinking of the likes of João Pedro, just joined Chelsea.
Perchy, I'm hearing a lot of stalling. Have you got names for us, or are you? What's going on?
So obviously, there's
you're not thinking about
Lubo, mate. Your football knowledge is terrible.
No, Perchy.
Don't try it.
Listen, gut feeling, but feeling a bit clairvoyant. You were thinking about Dane Scarlett and Will Lancashire, weren't you?
Hey,
you couldn't think of anyone.
You know
went
what?
back to those, didn't you?
All we've heard is...
I'll be real. I'd have Will Lancashire over Richarlison right now.
Me too.
I actually would. No, I think, look, for me, someone like a Mateta would be a good sign. I just think of like his age would be at 29 already. Even the likes of, like, right now, you've got players like Ollie Watkins at the moment. Strand Larson was another one I was just about to say. I think it's a really, if you can get someone like a Strand Larson, I'd be like, do you know what? I like him. Everything about him, physical, but technically I like him. What about someone like him? For me, I think, look, the strikers out there. The question is at what level, right? And that's the question is at what level do Tottenham want to go? Because for me, the striker market is such a dying market. How much was it? If someone in the chat, if anyone, you guys, how much did Wolves reject from Newcastle for Strand Larsen? Wasn't it like
a lot.
70 million or something
Going
like that?
market, it's never been more buoyant. It's never been more buoyant. More money was spent on strikers than any other position.
Hang on, that's different to
that's not
the
what I'm
quality of the players,
That's what
right?
I'm saying.
All right, sorry. Well,
I'm
listen,
talking,
right now.
the quality, like
Oh,
from
I
my
see,
point
sorry.
is,
He wants us to go and buy Rasmus Højlund. Is that what you want, Johnny?
Yeah,
What you want?
whereas before you could go and nab a decent striker for 40 million quid and it'd be brilliant. Sauler's another good shout. Again, I'm not 100% sure on him, but I do like him as a football player.
No guarantees, guys. Look at Sesko. Højlund.
Sesko's only played about 2 games of football, though.
Sesko is a very good football player that at the right time will get there. Like this is the problem right now. A lot of what I would say our average. See, Alvarez again is one of those. If you want to go and push, Alvarez is one of those. If you want to go and make a proper marquee signing, he's going to cost you a big chunk of money. But if Tottenham go, do you know what? That's who I can see getting. But for me,
if you sign someone like Alvarez, that's a statement. That's you've gone and said, hang on, we've changed. We've changed.
Well, meanwhile, what we've got, we've got Solanke's back on grass, and we've got Basuma back on balloons, and we wonder why we're struggling up front.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think the key bit is I think the key bit for me is the striker market is a killed market. It is a massively overinflated market in the sense because there's not a lot of quality. There's not a lot of quality out there. For me, do you know what would be good for Tottenham? If it's not going out there buying that statement striker, right? What I would love from Tottenham here is to go out there and scout a gem. Go out there and find a gem in Argentina, like when Man City got Julian Alvarez.
Like
bring him in and go, boom.
We've got one.
Yeah. Hey, I've still got my Valise.
Alejo. I remember when we signed Alejo Valise, people were banging one out. We've signed the next Alvarez. We've signed the next.
Hey, he's on the back of my Espanol kit, Johnny. Don't worry.
Let me do some super chats and we'll go to our next category. Big up to all of you, by the way. We need more likes, though. We're at 188 likes after an hour. I mean, guys and girls, I know it's September. I know the transfer window's shut. I know there's no bombers, but Tottenham are winning games. Tottenham aren't conceding goals. We're here streaming for you. Smash that like button, please. We should have 500 likes, and we're on 189. That is not good enough. Please smash
the of likes. This is
if you're happy with the new season, smash a like. Come on.
Exactly. Let's Stephen, I don't think the red card was harsh. If you watch the replay, he's taken him out. He's the last man. He's taken him out, I'm afraid. Let's have a look at the super chats. Big up to Dean Law. Started the super sticker train. Choo choo. Big up to you. Hope you're well, my man. Thank you very much. Burgers, 180 of them. Big up to you. The 180th burger has given us super sticker. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that as well. Pete coming in with an absolute listen. Pete, I've said all along, it's only when players like Maddison aren't playing you realise how much you miss playmakers. Maddison right now, God, I would love James Maddison in this team. Him, Xavi Simons and Kudus all floating. Yeah, great player, James Maddison. Always massively disrespected. Big up to you, Pete. Big up to Lord Uhtred's Hotspur. Lord Uhtred, the greatest warrior of them all. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you probably think I'm waffling about nonsense. He said, big up, lads. Great show as always. Thank you very much. We're trying our best, even with the trolls. We're trying. Big up to you. Mark Taylor said, is Van de Ven more important to Spurs than Romero? Who out of the two wouldn't you rather lose? Or
none of them. They complement.
No. He paid for his question to be answered. Come on, Johnny. Which one?
I'm going to say Romero.
Which of the two wouldn't you rather lose? Mickey Van de Ven for me.
Yeah, Mickey Van de Ven for me as well. I think you can replace Romero easily.
There's not many centre halves with the pace of Mickey Van de Ven out there.
From that point of view, agreed. Yeah, especially if you're playing the suicide Ange ball.
Lubo, who you've got to get rid of one of them. Which one is it?
I'd keep Romero.
Of course you would.
No one
Of
was
course
shocked by
you
that
would.
one.
He's got to die on that hill, isn't he? He's got so many hills to die on. He doesn't know which one to be at.
My captain
And my manager. Big up to a user who said Villarreal dispatched. Barely. Love you, Levy. Miss you. I love how much a user is obsessed
This is
with
Lubo's burner account, by the way. This is Lubo's burner account.
Yeah, Lubo's burner account. Big up to you, a user. Thank you very much. Tell him to hurry up and Colo Simmons.
That's quality. That's quality. Fair play.
Oh my gosh, I like that. Someone in a land far away. Ben raises his hand. Ben, what is it with people called Ben? What is it with them? Big up to you. Thank you very much for that. My man Martin out in Spain. How you doing, bro? Said it's a waste playing our only 10 on the left. I agree. We're about to talk about Xavi Simons. So hold that thought. We're going to talk about him right now. Thank you very much. A users come back in. Said confusion. I think Richie has had a Brazilian. All I know is he's dreadful. I would rather Helder Postiga up front than Richarlison. I genuinely can't watch Richie play. It hurts my eyes. It genuinely hurts my eyes. And you know what it is more than anything, a user? It's the falling over at every opportunity. He's like 6'2", maybe 6'1", and he falls over. And when he falls over, someone will hit his shoulder and he does that. And you're like, oh, get up, mate. Got no time for him. Jog him on. Get him to Saudi. I've got no time for him. Big up to a user and big up to Cat Bunt. Said we'll learn a lot on intentions in January. We will. We will see whether, like Lubo says, do we have our Spurs back or are Enoch the problem? And Lubo needs to write a strongly worded apology letter to Daniel Levy. We will see. Big up to you. Let's go, guys. Xavi Simons was the standout signing from a name perspective in the summer. People are frustrated already, guys, that Xavi Simons hasn't started centrally. Could be that Frank doesn't trust the left wingers we have. Could be that he wants to just get him slowly integrated to the Premier League. Could be that he sees us as left winger. What do you guys think about this? Where should Simons be playing? And if Simons does play in the number 10, what does that mean for the central midfielders?
I can go with this one. Why not? Yeah, look, I think look, Simons has to play as the 10. I think that's the real point of it. The question I'll ask after this, and I'll sort of throw it back to someone. But yeah, look, he has to play the 10. Look, for the 2 8s, I think Paulinho is locked in that central role. And then it's a combination of one of the 3 who takes the other one. Is it Bentancur? Is it Bergvall? Is it Sarr? I think there's 3 fighting over one position. And then when it comes to the sort of left wing situation, for me, the conversation will be who goes there when Kulu's back. Because the question will be, where do we put Kulu? I know where I will put him. I'll be intrigued what others think. For me, I think Kulu is the one that you shoehorn in at left wing when he comes back. If he comes back before January, I'd hope we sign someone in January that can play there. But for me, he's the one that you shoehorn in on that left wing. And that's how, when he does come back, that's how I would set it up. But for me, you have to play Xavi Simons in the 10. You don't spend that level of money on a player of that quality and then play him out. It's like going, oh, we're going to sign Bruno Fernandes, but he's now going to play at right wing. Like, you're going, what are you doing? Like, or do what Amorim does and play him in central midfield. Like, but do you know what I mean? Like, you don't buy a quality like that and then play him out of position. It doesn't make sense to me.
Anyone else?
I don't think Simons is quite there yet in terms of match fitness.
I agree.
And I think
that's fair.
I think Frank's making his decisions. I mean, he looked at the Villarreal match pragmatically. It was a question of, right, I'm going for the win, but I'm going to make sure I don't lose. hence the team selection. So while he's getting Simons up to scratch, he's making sure he doesn't lose games. Confidence is rising. Partnerships are building. And for me, I don't think, the fact that he played at 11 the other day, he probably thought, you know what? If he drifts in, it gives Spence a chance to overlap. And
by the way, I've got a horrible echo coming from somebody's. Every time Lubo talks, I can hear him saying the same thing again in somebody's echo. Just so you know.
And for me, I don't see it's a problem. Genuinely, don't see it as an issue.
For me, when I look at this, I see the fact that once Muani is fit, he's the key here, right? Once Muani is fit, you push. First of all, I don't think Xavi Simons is an out-and-out 10. I think he's not your atypical 10. I don't believe. I really don't. I think he's got more to his game than that. But I would be tempted, and probably going to hate my suggestion, until we buy the much-needed left-sided player, is to play when they're all fit, is to play Richie out on the left and to play Muani through the middle, Simons up top and Simons through the middle, and Kudos out. So what, you would rather play Simons out on the left? I'd rather play.
I just don't want to see Richarlison on the football pitch. He's a dreadful footballer.
So who are you going to play out on that left-hand side?
I'll be honest. I'd rather play Odegaard than Richie.
Well,
I think I'd throw Odegaard in at this point.
Well, Odegaard hasn't. Look, the fact of the matter is, none of it's perfect. Look, none of it's perfect, and Frank's probably sitting there, knows full well it's not perfect. But like he said over and over again, he would rather not have the player unless he could get the right player. So, I don't want. So we've signed. Okay, we went for A, B, and C. We didn't get any of them. We've ended up signing a left winger. He comes in, and we're all chastising him because he's absolute shit, right? And we've not improved it. So I would rather have to wait till January and get that player, or next summer to get the right player that we need. It's not ideal, but I mean, right now, if you can grind out wins. And you can grind out ugly wins. I mean, look at Liverpool. Liverpool. I mean, the 100th minute, the 108th minute, the 97th minute. It's about winning games, and right now, that's what we're managing to do with this manager. Without the third phase of our game is poor. There's no two ways about it. I'm happy with one. 2 will improve as soon as phase 3 gets better because there's no one making those runs. But yeah, that's it. Listen, Simons for me is not an out-and-out 10. Everyone thinks he's the guy that, sprays the ball across the pitch and he does all of that. I think he's a lot more to his game than that, personally.
Johnny, I agree. I just think from where we want him picking up the ball. What I've noticed when I watch Xavi Simons play in the first 2 games, and I'm not sitting here going, oh, my God, he's been breathtaking or amazing. But you can see when he gets the ball, you can always see a creative player from a non-creative player because he's looking up, right? And when Xavi Simons looks up, you can almost see that he's going, I've got no runner up front. I've got no one in midfield. And I think that to piggyback on my point earlier, I'd just like to see if he is inside that middle area. I think it will bring out so much more in Kudus, and I think they'll be able to slip Kudus down the channels. And I think once you are right, Johnny. I believe that. By the way, Man City have scored. Would you like to all guess who scored it?
Oh, robot time. The robot.
The robot. He loves scoring goals and still gets crucified. But anyway, to your point, Johnny, I agree with you that once Muani is fit and firing, I think Simons in behind feeding. Then, Johnny, I'll tell you what, Johnny, I'll concede with a caveat, all right? With a caveat, Johnny. This is as close as I get to
emergency procedures. It's emergency procedures.
Right. If Spurs get a fully fit Mawani up top, Kudus on the right, and Simons in the middle, I don't give a shit which one of them plays on the left.
He can play on the left. Richarlison, I feel, is at times better on the left than he is playing through the middle. But,
sure. I'll concede that until we get a left winger brought in.
Right.
But I think it's fundamental that if we do that, we've got to have Simons in the 10 so that Mawani can be threaded in. And I think Kudus will be threaded in behind as well. Because what Kudus has done, I know people are just going to look at his lack of goals. Kudus, for me, is the one that drags us up the pitch. He's the one that wins us the set pieces and the corners because he's taking men on, getting crosses, they're getting blocked. And you can see him looking up. And Berbatov did a little bit on this the other night, guys, where he said, you can see he's frustrated because he's beating a man and then he's looking up to go, where are you? Where's the cavalry? And Xavi Simons, what you notice he's doing, he's coming off that left touch line and he's looking to spray the ball to Kudus at every opportunity because he knows, hang on, if I give it to Kudus isn't going to lose the ball. Like it could. So I do concede that point, Johnny, but I think we all agree that left winger in January is not a nice to have. I think it's an absolute fundamental.
So can I ask you a question, Sava, right?
I'd love you to.
Yeah, if you can't get that main guy, right, the guy you really need, that top drawer, do you go to bargain basement and get an also-ran because you need that left-sided player? Or do you try to make do until the January or to the summer when maybe you can?
I mean, yeah, look, I hate that scenario because I never want a bargain basement. But that example is exactly what you've told me the reason why we couldn't get them this summer because we're going to get them in the January. So are we then saying that in a whole year of football, Spurs can't find a top left winger to buy? That worries me.
Should have. Look, the fact of the matter was, we've had spanners in the works, okay? Not signing Eze, not signing Morgan Gibbs.
Sure.
So, look, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses, but like you said before, if you'd have told me in May, okay, that we were going to sign Cuti Romero as our captain on a new long-term contract, get Paulinho, get Kudus, get Simons, and get Mawani, I would and start the season right with 4 wins, and only concede 1 goal. I would have said to you, best go and have a lie down. Yeah,
and Levy going.
And Levy going. Yeah.
You had to get it in, didn't you?
Had to, didn't it? 1 hour, 12 minutes.
How did you miss that? How did you miss that?
Lugo is, those little toys you get where when you pull a bit of string, they say something. If you pull a bit of string, he goes, Levy.
Not really, but it has to be said.
Johnny, I do agree with you. I think it's just more frustration for me purely because, and I won't go through it all again, purely because I feel like we knew Son was going and it was like, come on, that's it's so unbalanced, but it is what it is, guys. Anyone else want any last bits on Xavi Simons before we move on?
He played for me, the best part of Tuesday night was when he played a wall pass in the first half. Ball came back to him and he shot just right. And for me, and I think he was on the end. He hit a shot over, didn't he? First half as well. Again, ball was fizzed in. It was laid back, and he put it over. And that's where he's going to be dangerous in and around the box.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just want to touch the last thing I'll say on it was what Lubo said about the left wing situation. Look, if you can get someone for 6 months on loan with an option to buy, let's use Ademola Lookman, right? Let's just say you can get a deal where you can get him on loan with an option to buy, whilst in the meantime trying to get that main target that you do want. And it's ineffective that it's almost the middle ground. It's not ideal, but it's that middle ground. If you can work out some way where you can do some of that, I'm okay with that.
Would you take him despite him being a dickhead and,
for 6 months I would?
If you got him on a 6 month loan with an option to buy, you go, well, cool, we can work out what level you are. If we go, do you know what? Okay, and the option is 40 million quid. Just throwing a number out there.
I'm a huge fan of his, but Perchie, what I'm saying to you is, right, Sean and I are both huge fans of Ademar Lookman, but, again, he's got a problem of falling out with yet another coach, and they won't even play him at the moment. So does that fall into his dickhead policy that he won't sign anyone?
But if there's an opportunity where a player's not playing football and Tottenham come knocking at the door and go, look, we'll bring you in on 6 months on a loan deal, option to buy you, go and show that this isn't the stigma, come to Tottenham, and then in 6 months you go, what a football player, let's get him in.
Perchie, can I piggyback?
Yeah, go on.
I piggyback with that? Johnny, I get it. I completely get it. But Perchie's right, because all the people that turn around and went, but Jack Grealish is a dickhead. Jack Grealish is a punk. Watch Everton right now.
I like Lookman. I'm a fan of both. Yeah.
No, I know. Look, but I'm just saying, people were saying he was a dickhead. People told me last January when Aston Villa got Rashford. Rashford's a dickhead. He did really well for Aston Villa. I think sometimes first of all, we don't know. Why has Lookman fallen out? Could it be that Lookman was promised to move away and didn't get it? Right? We don't know. Could it be that you go to a Lookman in January and go, look, Ademola, we know you've had a few problems, but we need you to do this. You're going to come in, you're going to play week in, week out. And I think Thomas Frank, for me, I don't know, Johnny, I know you agree with me on this. I think Thomas Frank is a real man manager. I think he's the guy that has the call and says, hey, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Arm around the shoulder. Hey, come play for me. You're going to enjoy it. This is what you're going to get. We've got a togetherness. But if we're always going to count people out for being dickheads, Zlatan Ibrahimovic wouldn't have played for anyone.
Yeah, he's as near to what Perchie was saying before. If you look at his last 3 seasons at Serie A, right, he's been fantastic. And you talk about big game player, scores a hat-trick against Bayer Leverkusen for Atalanta in the Europa Cup final. Look, he's, for me, he's all over. We should be all over him like a rash in January.
Isn't someone like Ademola Lookman a very Thomas Frank signing? And hear me out when I say that. Yes. In the context of a player that may be out of favour, brings him in. Like, look at the players, and I'm talking on a different level. I'm not talking Brentford here, but look at the sort of players he was bringing in at Brentford, turned them into real superstars. Now, Ademola Lookman's on a different level to what Brentford would be signing, but bringing someone like him in at Tottenham, he's the sort of player that you could turn into a superstar. Arm around the shoulder, get him playing football. I think he's an incredible football player. He's the one which I was annoyed that we didn't go and get. If the opportunity was there to get someone like him in the summer, I would have been all over that. And look, if Savio is the one, and I don't want to sort of delve into that bit again, but for me, he was the one where I go, fine, if you can't get number 1, surely he's number 2.
Maybe
Savio ain't scoring those goals, is he? Savio's not going to score.
Talking of wingers, left wingers scoring goals, if anyone's not watching, have a look at what Doku's just done.
I've just flicked it over.
Have a look at what Doku just did. That is naughty. And by the way, for anyone, Erling Haaland tonight has become the fastest player ever to get 50 Champions League goals. 50 Champions League goals in 49 games. Talking of dickheads as well, Marcus Rashford has given Barcelona the lead at Newcastle. So
good goal, by the way.
Good goal.
So,
mate, look at this from Doku. Look. See ya.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, that's disgusting. Get out. That's unreal. That's a quality goal.
Talking of Lookman, I'm sure if Spurs are looking closely at Savio, aren't they, for January? Again, he hasn't started. If Pep doesn't start him for the next 3 or 4 months, then,
dangerous game though, Lubo, isn't it though? Dangerous game.
Right,
one injury.
There's got to be a reason why Lookman didn't join. Atalanta wanted to sale, They
I
wanted
agree with
a
you, though.
guaranteed sale. Spurs didn't want that.
I agree with you, though, but I'm talking
hang on,
about...
one of you. By the way, you're both in full sentence flow, and I can't understand either of you.
He's not. Lookman was not Spurs' first choice.
No, I agree.
And Frank decided. Frank could have gone in and bought him, but Frank obviously wants. Whether it's Savio, personally, I'd go.
Guess who's just getting subbed on for Man City?
Yeah.
No, Lou, but I agree with you. But I'm talking about it's a risky strategy, right? It's a risky strategy because if Savio is the one you want, fine, but he's not a Tottenham player, so anything can happen, right? There's enough football between now and January where injuries, like problems happen. Who's to say Savio gets linked with a bigger football club than Tottenham? I'll throw it out there. Barcelona go, we want to get involved in the Savio deal. Then you're going, okay, because this is what I said. I said
they
this
don't
at the
have
end
the money, Perchy. They don't have 70
No,
million.
I'm using it. Forget about individual. I'm using them as it could be anyone. Bayern Munich. I'm just plucking out a bigger football club than Tottenham Hotspur. There's other football clubs out there that might go, we want him. We're going to go and get Savio. And then Tottenham looks silly if it doesn't end up happening because then you're going, now we're going to go scrambling on. Well, we could have gone and got our second choice option in August.
The dickhead scored again.
What a goal.
Who's that? Rashford?
Yeah.
Rashford just made it 2-0. See
Let
again.
me tell you something. The first goal was fucking great. The second goal was even better.
Can I tell you something, right? In the summer, when I was asked on my show if I would take Marcus Rashford on a year's loan, and I was like, absolutely. People go, I wouldn't. I mean, look at what he's just done there. We don't have players doing that.
So the question, Sava, was Rashford the dickhead or was Manchester United a cesspool of shit?
There you go.
Bit of both, right?
So, Johnny, that's why when football fans say things like, don't want him, he's a bad egg. Like, look at Garnacho. People are going, don't want Garnacho, he's got an attitude. So apparently, Sancho's got an attitude. Rashford's got an attitude. Garnacho's got an attitude. Højlund had an attitude. Pogba had the attitude. Maybe, just maybe it might be the environment that they're all in. Just maybe.
Listen, I'm a big fan. I definitely think it's Man United's the cesspool as far as Rashford's concerned because, they all want it out. But, Lookman for me, I wanted him more than I wanted Savinho. Why is that? Because I know Lookman comes in and he comes with goals and assists and he's very direct. Savinho is promise. He's not a 15, 18 goal a season person at this.
But he was in La Liga. It was only last year that he didn't.
La Liga, in Girona, at Girona. Different environment though, Sava. But
sure.
Yeah, I hear you.
But playing on his proper side, right? So you've got to remember when Savio was at Girona, he played on the left.
Yeah.
And was given freedom. The problem is, I've always said this, as much as I think Pep Guardiola is one of the greatest coaches of all time, wingers in a Pep Guardiola system don't tend to score 15, 20 goals because they are always up against 10 men. They don't have the space in behind. I think for us, Savio running in behind and getting the ball and linking up with the others, I think he'd score loads. But hey, that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'd go in January. I'd go and offer 80 million to Bournemouth and so on Semenyo.
I think it'd be more than that.
It's just signed a new 5-year deal, isn't he?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The problem is with players. You've got to remember players like that. Bournemouth don't have to sell, right? And also Bournemouth. You got to also remember the optics with that. Always uses people miss that part. Just throw £80 million at Bournemouth. Can't sell another superstar. They sold how many already? They can't sell another superstar.
They sold their entire defence.
They sold 3 back 4.
And they sold Contera, right? And yet they've had the best
they sold the fella to Brentford as well, right?
Contera.
Dango Altera.
Højlund to Real Madrid. They sold Zabani to PSG, and they sold Kirkes to Liverpool, and yet had the best start to a Premier League ever.
No, that's the thing is that's the thing. It's very easy now. Like you can't when play teams now. It's not like it was before where you could nab players from teams below you. It don't happen anymore. It's hard unless you're willing to put down a lot of money.
This isn't true. He doesn't prefer to play on the right. This isn't
left,
true.
right.
He plays on the left. It's just Pep moved him to the right. So please, this is not. That's not true.
He's
Guys,
got every right to play on the left. Let's put it like that. I'll tell you who's getting absolutely caned. Galatasaray, all the money and all the players they brought in. Victor Osimhen, Gundogan, Sane, and the list is endless.
Davinson Sanchez.
No, but I'm talking about recently in this last season, getting caned 4-1.
Yeah, they're getting a pumping from Frankfurt right now. They're getting a pumping. By the way, Sporting, for anyone that cares, are 4-0 up and have missed a penalty. Trincao has got a brace for them. Good player, Trincao. By the way, for anyone that cares, the Erling Haaland stat of being the fastest to get to 50 goals, the closest to him was that. Listen to this. So this is how quickly players got to 50 Champions League goals. Erling Haaland in 49 games. Ruud van Nistelrooy in 62, so he's battered it by 13 games. Lionel Messi, 66. Lewandowski, 77. By the way, Ronaldo's on 91. So all the disrespect that this man gets, Erling Haaland, I don't know what more he has to do. He keeps breaking records. Guys, let me do a few super chats and we'll move on if that's all right with everyone. And, did Davinson Sanchez score an own goal? Love that.
Yes.
Spurs legend, mate.
Yeah, of course he did. And so did Singo. They both centre-backs scored an own goal.
Superb. Love that. Let's look at some super chats. Big up, just the two of them this time. Andy Lester, thank you very much, Andy. Continuing the super sticker train. Thank you. We really appreciate you, Andy. By the way, you guys, if these people can put money in, you guys can sub and like. The subs have been really poor today. We've had 2 subscribers, right? 2 subscribers throughout the entire 90 minutes we've been live. So please smash that button and please do smash the like. We need at least 500 and we're only on 255. Guys, it really does help. We're giving you a free show for 2 hours. Please, all we ask is that you smash that like button. It's amazing. Everyone can type. You're a prick. You're this, you're that. You can't go smash on the like button. Come on. It's nice and simple. Big up Andy and big up a user. Said, surely there is a free agent for short-term left wing. Yes, Lubo can play out there. I've told you. Lubo, I would rather him than Richarlison. So big up to you, a user. And if anyone wants to have a look at the free transfers and let us know who is the best free transfer of a left winger out there, then we'll discuss it. Guys, for the next 15 minutes, we're going to discuss Harry Kane. Because look at Lubo's face. Look at his little face. How can I deny that? Look at I say Harry Kane and Lubo's face.
He's the man. He's the man.
You were like a kid that opened up the present to see it's the Xbox they wanted on Christmas Day. You were like,
that's what I'll be like. That's what I'll be like. Massive season when Harry's back.
Did you just hear that massive bang? There was just a massive bang on the desk. That was Lubo having a hard on, honestly.
God, Lubo.
Lovely. Guys, Harry Kane, there's a lot of talk about Harry Kane. Listen, he is on fire. He started the season brilliantly. He's got another brace last night against Chelsea. There's a lot of talk that he will be coming back or he'll be leaving in the summer because he's only going to have 1 year left, I believe, of his 4-year contract. Lots of people want him back at Spurs, especially Lubo. Some people don't want him back. Some people saying, no, want something fresh, something new. I don't want to start with Lubo because I know. Perchy, let me start with you because I think you might have a slightly different. You asked a slightly different question in the group chat earlier.
Yeah.
Harry Kane, go.
Look. If I think the key bit here is if Harry Kane came back to Tottenham, I think we'd all collectively be happy. I don't think anyone's going to go, no, I don't want Harry Kane back. Like, I think let's park that for before when I make this point, because people will think, oh, I don't want Harry Kane back. But I'm just trying to put an alternative opinion here, because if Harry Kane comes back to Tottenham, he isn't going to be here forever. I think he's not immortal. He's not going to be playing till he's 65 and looking as beautiful as Lubo does right now. But for me, here's the question, right? And I'll ask the chat, I'll ask you guys, and you can kind of play on to this. If you had the choice to bring Harry Kane back for a couple of years, or you spend that money that would be to bring Harry Kane in on a striker that may be playing at a lesser team but has the potential to be a top player. I'll use
What about someone like Alvarez?
Yeah, Alvarez, that's a fair example. But that's a good example. But I'll use it. The example I will use is when Newcastle bought Isak from Real Sociedad. We all knew Isak was going to be a good football player, bought from a lesser team in the sense of Real Sociedad, and we all knew he was going to become a really, really top football player. I think we all knew that was going to happen, right? Yeah. So the question would be, do you go for the short-term elite player for the sentimentality? And by the way, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just the opinions on what people think. Or do you go and get the next best striker that will support you for the next decade? Because the problem is you bring Harry Kane in, you know what you're going to get. He will be brilliant. He will come back with a hero's welcome, but he will only be there for 2 years. I think we're all agreeing he won't be there longer than 2 years, right? That's the question mark. 2, maybe 3 years at a push. What would anyone suggest that? Because I'm not against either one, but I'd like to see what people's thoughts are.
For me, when I look at this situation, I think of someone like Teddy Sheringham, because Kane's not blessed with pace. What he has is great ability to see a pass, spray a ball across the other side of the pitch. So he could easily be walking around in the middle of the pitch, spraying balls, still scoring goals, well into his 30s, I reckon. But for me, I think as a footballer, when you've done it in England, he's proved everything in England, as far as I'm concerned, as England's greatest striker, scored the most goals. Okay, second to Alan Shearer, but everyone knows goals per ratio, he's better. He's gone to Bayern Munich, but I think the ultimate for a player is to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid. And for me, romantically, we would all like to see him come and play at Spurs. But I think the reality is he will go and follow Lewandowski. As Lewandowski goes out one door, I think Harry Kane will go into another. Maybe he'll only have a year or two there, and maybe he will come back to Spurs at 34 or what have you. But for me, I can't see him coming back. Would I be happy him coming back? Yes, I'll be happy for him to come back, but I don't want to see him blocking the path and dominating a situation where no other striker will sign for us, because Harry Kane is guaranteed to be playing week in and week out like we had over the last few years. So happy to see him, but I think he's destined, in my opinion, to go to Barcelona. And I do believe he could even go to Serie A after he's finished in the Premier League, because he could walk around there till he's about 37, 38.
I actually don't think Serie A is a bad shout either. I think he could go to somewhere like Juve, correct, for 2 years, and then go to. I stand by it. By the way, I think Kane ends his career in the MLS. I think he ends his career in the MLS. I don't think he ends it anywhere else. I think he will have
LAFC by any chance?
I mean, he's got a couple of mates over there at the moment if he wants to, doesn't he? He could go over there. I mean, go over there for a couple of years and see his mates and have a reunion. You just got to bring Harry Winks over at some point.
Oh my God.
Harry Winks has surely got to get an opportunity over at LAFC. But yeah, no, look, I think the key bit for me is again, I don't think, as I said, I don't think anyone would say no to Harry Kane. I think you're crazy if anyone said, no, I don't want Harry Kane. However, I do remember Wolfie said he wouldn't have Harry Kane. I remember that one, by the way. No, don't forget that one. That was mental.
But don't worry, I've got a show. Let me quickly plug. I've got a show tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Oh, yes.
It's called Ange Management. So we've got a show every Friday at 11 a.m. Me and Wolfie. He's a good sport. He is.
I do. I think Wolfie's brilliant. But I think people. I see people in the chat saying. I think Destiny 5 says about he wants the sort of goal record in the Premier League. I'll put it out there. I don't think that is as big to Harry Kane as it is to fans that think Harry Kane.
I agree.
I think football fans think that Harry Kane cares about the goal scoring record. I think that's a fan reaction to anything else. I don't think he gives a shit about it. Because let's be fair, right? He could go and win the Bundesliga again this season with Bayern Munich, go to Barcelona and win La Liga over there for a couple of years. Like, let's be fair. I think it's a fan reaction over what the player really thinks. I don't think he does.
Can I tell you, Perchy, it's a complete no-brainer.
Oh gosh, shocker!
It's a no-brainer. The guy wants to be known. Listen, he's Spurs' highest league scorer, Premier League scorer. Not obviously Greaves scored quite a few goals. He's England's leading goal scorer. He wants the Premier League mantle as leading goal scorer. And for me,
how do you know that? Can I ask how you know that?
Yeah.
Do you think he wants that more than Barcelona?
Yeah. What if the offer is there, Lubo? Right? Do you want to come and play with Lamine Yamal and all of those superb Barcelona players?
How can they afford it? How can they?
No. Hang on. Lubo. By the way, every year, people like you and Sean tell me Barca can't buy anyone. Barca can't do anything. Every year, Barca do something, and we all go, "Oh, where's the money?" Barca, come on. If Barca want him, they get him, right? So forget that for the moment. We're not talking about finances. If the offer is on the plate, hey, come to the Camp Nou, right? Come to the Camp Nou, play for the biggest, one of the best clubs in world football, replace Lewandowski, play with Lamine Yamal, who by then will probably be the Ballon d'Or winner, right? Or go back to Tottenham for the Premier League record.
So, no-brainer, sir. No-brainer.
Hang on. And by the way, it won't be the two, right? Let's be fair with it, right? Every football club in the country will be on. If Harry Kane's available, when we talk about Barcelona or Spurs, I think majority of the sort of top Italian clubs will have their name in the hat. You'll have all the big wigs in Spain looking at him and I think that's the key bit. Where did Tottenham? Forget the sentimentality. Where did Tottenham fit on the list of all
Perchy? No, listen, Perchy, you've been out in Spain, right? Come on, listen, right? You go to Barcelona, right? You the adulation when he signs. Forget.
Oh, it's nuts. It's nuts. You have fans queuing in the airport. They go ballistic out there.
Yeah. Just the signing alone, there'll be tens of thousands of people, right? To live out in Spain, to live your last part of your career out in Spain, everyone he rings up, your Linekers and whoever's who's been out there, Rashfords, will all be saying the same thing. Don't be a fool. Go out.
Yeah, look. No. As I said, I think this is fan emotion taking over people's minds over what actually is probably reality. That's my thought.
I mean, who turns down Barcelona to replace Lewandowski? That would be my.
Lewandowski's going.
Hang on. By the way, I just need to let the chat know, in no way, shape or form am I turning down Harry Kane. I'm now looking at it from if I'm not
what
a
does Harry
Spurs
Kane
fan,
want?
right? If the offers come into Harry Kane, him and is it Charlie, his brother? Him and Charlie are going to sit there and go, right, back to Spurs or Barcelona, like to end your career or to have said you've played for Barcelona for a couple of years. And everyone said Lewandowski's going at the end of the season. Everybody. Yeah. Where would you go, Lugo?
Lugo's fuming. He's heard the facts on it and he's not happy.
You would go Barcelona if you had the opportunity.
You would as well, Lubo.
Hang on 1 sec. Kane's a family man. He might want to come back. There's parents here. There's grandparents.
Can you not be a family man in Spain?
They have families in Spain.
It's a bit difficult if your family's
They
in
have
England.
families in Spain. Is that breaking news? Families in Spain.
Spoiler, I'll tell you that one.
Is he a family man in Munich?
Listen, all I can say.
What does family man mean anyway, Lubo? What does that even mean?
I will repeat what I was told.
Wait.
No, not with that guy again. No.
Here we go again.
Harry's coming back.
Based on what?
But Lubo, I've got to ask you this, right? When you say things like so and so's a family man, and none of the other footballers are family men, and are they not family men? All the footballers that move over the world.
The interesting thing is there aren't many English players that go abroad, are they? In comparison to,
it happens more now than it used to.
In comparison to players from abroad coming to England.
No, but it happens more now.
Apart from Italy, the Italians tend to stay. They tend to stay in Serie A, but.
Yeah, but hang on, I don't get the relevance though. Kane isn't even playing in England; he's playing in Germany.
Correct, that's right.
I don't get the relevance to that point though.
Well, listen,
I'm
a fan. I'm dreaming that Harry's back next year. For me,
yeah, no, but that wasn't the question you were asked. The question you were asked was, if you were offered,
he might be tempted to go.
Come on,
be honest, right? A beautiful apartment in Barcelona, all the gold that you can eat. Come on, where are you going?
Yeah,
but what?
Exactly. If someone offered me £400 a week, I'd wave goodbye.
I love it. But
sorry, wife and kids, I'm off. See you later.
The question can I just take it back? I want to know. Take the Spurs cap off for 1 second, Dubo. Like, I'm trying to work out. I think you're trying to make reasons for why someone like we're using Barcelona as this example, right? We know Lewandowski's probably leaving at the end of the season, so. The question is why
he might do Barca, Real Madrid, although Real Madrid have got a bit of a strike force.
I think Real Madrid at the moment probably are looking at they're sort of building a younger side, aren't they, now, in the way that they're doing it. If Harry Kane, they'd still go for someone like a Harry Kane. I just think Barcelona would have that position where they go, you're going to be our superstar. And he'll get that superstar reaction, right?
The only team, Perchy, I think they'd be the only team personally that would swing it. I don't think
the only team in world football that would swing it away from Tottenham.
If he's coming back, let's just look at it. Arsenal got Gyökeres, Chelsea have just bought João Pedro, City have got Haaland, Liverpool got Isak and Ekitike.
What if Haaland left?
What if who?
Yeah.
Haaland left? Is he leaving? He's
By
just
the way,
signed a 9-year contract, isn't he?
Hang on. Right, devil's advocate, right? By the way, Chelsea signing João Pedro would not stop them signing Harry Kane. What are you doing there? That's like me going, should Tottenham bring in Rudiger? No, we've just signed Takai.
I'm dreaming. You're not going to spoil my dream tonight.
No, it's not about spoiling the dream. It's just about having a football conversation that doesn't always be leaning biased towards Spurs. Like, I'd love Kane to come back. I'll be honest, this will piss people off. If in the summer the option was Harry Kane for a couple of years or Julian Alvarez on a 6-year contract, I'd take Julian Alvarez, by the way, right? Because I feel that whatever we think about his pace and it catches up with you. It does. Whatever we think about it, it will catch up with him. And by the time he's 35, you're not going to be going, oh my God, Harry Kane is still the same player. It just won't be, right? So, but if the option for me was bringing Kane back, I'm all over it, right? I'm all over it for sure. But I just think that I've just Googled it, and Lewandowski just had a 1-year contract extension triggered So his contract was due to run out this year, and he's had a 1-year extension.
Exactly. We know what's going on. We know what's going on. Harry Kane is fed up everywhere he goes. They say to him, "That are your papers?" And they don't want this. He's going to be in Barcelona, right? It's written in the stars. It really is. I mean, as a footballer, it's a peak. It's the peak. It's the pinnacle. Real Madrid, Barcelona is the pinnacle. When you look back on your career, what have you done? I broke all the records for England. I was Spurs' greatest scorer. I could have gone on to be the Premier League's greatest scorer, but I wanted to go and play in Germany, and I wanted to play for the great Barcelona at the end of my career. I mean,
Johnny, is there not the one team that we're not even talking about here? Well, who's to say that Bayern Munich don't offer him a new contract?
True.
Bayern Munich might go, do you know what? We'll have you for a couple more years or 3 years. So even a team at Bayern Munich, by the way, one of the biggest football clubs in the world right now, they will still go. Here's another crazy one.
PSG.
I was just about to say, what about PSG?
Like
PSG go, okay, we want the main man now. We want the main man. And this is the thing, right? I think we here. I'll flip it for the question. What I was going to say, actually, if Harry Kane wasn't a Tottenham legend, would you be wanting him to come for 2 years over someone like Julian Alvarez? He was the example used earlier. If Kane wasn't a Tottenham legend, would you want him for 2 years over someone like an Alvarez, what you could have for a decade?
No, because that's what I'm saying.
It's sentiment, isn't it? It's own sentiment.
Yeah, it's sentiment. Look, no one's doubting. Look, if he comes back, we'll welcome him with open arms. My point is,
of course,
I don't want him to come and then say, well, I'm not coming. The next young, hot striker we try to sign says, well, what's the point of me signing? You're never going to play me. You're going to play Harry Kane every week. This is what we had before. And we
both.
No, Lubo, you've not listened to what Johnny said. You've not listened to what Johnny said.
You're not listening.
Lubo, you've not listened to what Johnny said. When you're saying buy both, right? What Johnny, tell me if I'm wrong. The point Johnny's making is Spurs go to let's say a 22-year-old who's had a couple of good seasons in Spain, banged in 20 goals a season. Spurs go, hey, we XYZ, we want you to come and join. Yeah, but so-and-so want me as well, and you've got Harry Kane. I'm not going to get a game.
Correct.
So when we're saying go and get both, isn't this exactly what happened before? When Kane was there, he was undroppable, and we ended up having to back up Kane with Llorente, Janssen,
Vinicius.
Vinicius. Isn't that what the problem was?
Correct. Yeah.
Why couldn't you play two up front? Sorry,
yeah, but who does play two up front these days?
I think what you're doing,
that?
You're playing a little bit of semantics there. That it's not really like. So you're basically saying, no, we just go and buy two strikers and then just change everything we do to bring in two strikers. What the club have to do, right? And look, by the way, as I said,
evolve, Perchy. It depends if you evolve as a club.
But how is evolving in a club?
Evolve as a club. You want to revolve everything around Kane.
Would you be unhappy if we bought Alvarez and Kane in the summer?
Of course I wouldn't. They're two quality players. I mean, it's not. But that's not. That's like me going, "Oh, Spurs are going to buy Mourinho now." No, that's crazy. That's not how it works.
And where are you getting the 150? Spurs are going to go and spend 150 million pounds on Alvarez and Kane, as well as a left winger, as Lenger. Lubo, come on! I think you're playing a little bit of fantasy football here, aren't you?
Well, the Lewises have got the money. Yeah, they're going to. They're ambitious, aren't they?
We're trying to have the sort of sensible conversation with it all.
Can't do it. It's so biased. You can't do it.
But what I'm trying to sort of get with is that. By the way, as I said at the beginning, people in the chat saying that I'm saying that Kane not get Kane. So I will take Harry Kane yesterday, of course. But the point is, do you go for short-term glory and sentiment and all that stuff over looking at long-term structure of the football club? As I said, it doesn't. We used Alvarez as the example. There's a lot of what I would say 20 to 25-year-olds out there that are top football players. You're not going to go and buy Harry Kane and another one of those players. That's just not. That's not how it works.
Right.
Good.
But look at this.
What did Liverpool just do? Sorry, what did Liverpool just do?
Liverpool. What
What did United just do?
Man United by two
Man
strikers.
United haven't done that.
They bought one. They bought in Sesko.
They got one striker.
Well, they got 3 strikers. They got
No, they
They
haven't.
have one.
Mbeumo is a striker.
No, he's not. He's a
No,
right
he's
winger.
not.
He is
He's
a
a right winger.
forward. He is a
When-
forward.
Lubo, are you doing this thing again? He's not a.
He's a right winger.
We're talking
Mbeumo is
about forwards.
a wide
Liverpool
player.
play with 3 forwards. They're all forwards. You can
Yeah,
call
but
them
no.
Not strikers.
Not a striker that you can.
Is
They have-
Kudus a striker?
Sorry, hang on a second. Why are you so inflexible in your thinking that we've got
No.
to have one striker?
No,
No.
Lubo. Do you know?
No,
Do you know
I'm
what's
not having
happening?
it. Think outside the box now. Come on.
No,
take
no,
it.
that's
Think
sorry.
outside the
That's
box.
not
Okay,
how it
okay.
works.
So,
Not having
so
that. Sorry. If you can get, if you
Lubo,
look at
you
Liverpool,
might not be having it, but it's
they
the
bought
truth.
Ekatike and they bought Isak.
Yes, but do you know why? Do you know why, Lubo? Because Ekatike can also play in the 10 and out wide left,
Yeah.
right? Ekatike's flexible. Kane and Julian Alvarez are not. Kane and Alvarez are out and out strikers, right? So I'm going to ask you this question.
Why not play 2 strikers? Sorry.
Hang
why
on.
not?
Hang on. Is Mohamed Kudus a striker?
He's more of a winger.
So why is Mbeumo? So why is Mbeumo a striker, not more of a winger where he plays?
Well, Mbeumo is a lot more prolific than Kudus.
That's not.
No, that's not the question.
That's not. That's like me asking you. But Lubo, is Mo Salah a striker?
He's a bit of a hybrid, isn't he? He's a winger.
No, he's not. He's a
right
wide
winger.
player.
You're
He's
killing
not
me
a
here.
hybrid.
And look at he's prolific, the guy.
Yeah, you
From
can be
the wing.
prolific and not be a striker.
He's not.
That's not how it works.
Well, that's like me saying Frank Lampard was prolific. He's a
Sorry,
striker.
semantics here.
No,
No,
you're playing semantics.
You're trying to shoehorn players into positions they don't play.
Let's call them forwards. I'm thinking outside the box here. Sorry.
So does Harry Kane play out on the right?
No, of course you
Why
wouldn't
not?
play him out on the right.
Why not? Why doesn't Kane play out on the right? He's a forward,
He is a forward.
right?
But you could play Alvarez slightly wider.
He's an attacking player. That's what I did.
Your need for Harry Kane is outweighing any sensible tactics.
No,
I love it.
You put people into niches. You can't do that. People have got to be.
You can. Okay.
Hang on. From
No,
that logic-
let me go. Sorry, this is ridiculous.
Why not play 2 goal scorers? Liverpool play 3 goal scorers.
Yes, but Liverpool play with one striker.
Oh,
Lubo, just because somebody scores goals doesn't mean they're a striker.
well, let's see where.
Attackers. Well, give him its attackers, Lou. Attackers.
Whatever you want to call them. Whatever you want to
Forwards.
Forwards, attackers, they don't have to be pigeonholed into a striker, man who stands in the centre
Yeah,
forward
but the
line.
2 players that we've been talking about
But that's where they
predominantly
play.
play as a 9.
Moving on.
That's
Why
like
not?
saying.
Why not get
that's
both
like-
of them? Why not buy both? Liverpool bought both.
But that's.
Liverpool-
Because Ekatike can play out left as well, mate. Ekatike naturally plays off the left side.
Liverpool brought in a player that is almost a bit part player in across
I
the sort of
love
attacking
Lubo.
options.
His
He's not
shoehorning
an
is
out and out.
superb.
Sorry, he's not a wide winger. Ekatike is
He's
not
an
a wide winger.
Who? Ekatike?
No.
He can play left, he can play 10, he can
comes
play
in,
right.
drifts in the whole time.
Yeah.
From the left.
From the left. That's what he was playing at. He was playing that when he was at Frankfurt for periods when they had another striker in.
When they played with Mamouche, when they had Mamouche and what's the
Yeah.
wide. But listen, look, the thing is, look, Spurs, we've ended the Champions League first round in 14th place. We should be very proud of ourselves.
Look, I just think. I just think. I think they can, look. Just to sort of go back to some like rational conversation and try and get. But look, I think with the Harry Kane
Rational conversation. I don't want rationale conversation. I want
let's have Harry
Lubo.
Kane at centre
I
half.
want Lubo pretending that wide players that don't play as centre forwards are suddenly centre forwards. It's utter madness.
They're forwards. They're forwards. They're
Oh,
attacking forwards.
No, they're not.
Okay, so where did Arjen Robben play?
He was more of an out-and-out winger because he had the touchline.
But he was still an attacker.
Sorry, but he played on the left-hand side of a front three.
But
The
Salah-
same way
Salah
Mo
plays-
Salah plays on the right-hand side of a front three.
Right, but Salah's not a wing. Salah cuts in all the time. All the time. Look at the goals he scored.
Hang on. Just because you cut in doesn't mean that's not your position.
No. He doesn't.
What are we doing here?
Lubo, would you play Harry Kane at left wing?
Don't be silly, Perchy.
That's the silly
logic.
That's the silly part.
Why not buy two really good strikers? Why not buy
Because
two?
one of them knows they won't play.
Hey, that's the point.
Well, we'll see. Listen, Frank.
Lubo, let me ask you the obvious question. Why did Julian Alvarez leave Man City?
Well, he was probably getting no game time, wasn't
Exactly.
Why was he getting no game time, Lubo? Who was in front of him?
he? Because of Haaland, but Kane could also play off Alvarez slightly deeper because that's the sort of player he is.
See, now basically.
So now Kulusevski, Maddison, and Xavi Simons aren't playing because Kane's playing in the 10.
I don't think Maddison will come back as the same player.
I love this. This is mad.
I don't think you've thought this one through. Look, by the way, as I said,
I don't see Maddison having much of a future at Spurs.
Can I, Luke? Just on what you just said here. So basically, your point here, I'm being serious here. Your point is, we bring Harry Kane in and Alvarez. We'll use him as the example. We bring them in, and then your aim then is to bring Harry Kane in, one of the most prolific goal scorers, to then play him as a number 10. Like it doesn't make sense. It's not logical.
No, but the two can play off each other as well.
But why would you like, by the way, I'm not against Harry Kane coming back. I'm saying, but if you get him in, he has to play as your striker down the middle and all the time. Then your problem is this is what we're trying to get out of it. Was the problem with that is you then can't go and buy a 22 to 25-year-old at the top of their level going, well, because they're going to literally, the whole point of what was being said here is when Kane was at Spurs, we couldn't go and buy that number 2 striker because their whole point was
we could get
Harry Kane.
We could get Kane because of the history with Kane. If Kane hadn't been
I don't disagree with that.
Right, if Kane hadn't been a Spurs player, I wouldn't have thought Spurs would have a
Agreed.
chance.
I agree with that.
Okay, so the same way that we weren't going to get an Isak, and we weren't going to get an Ekitike. Next year, we're going to get one of these top strikers coming through, or if a top club goes in for them, like a PSG, they're going to get them. So they're not going.
If you don't get Harry Kane, you could get one of them
because there's a pecking order. So if you're saying no top striker of 22, 25 is going to come to Spurs. That's my point.
No, wait, hang on.
So you're not going to.
By the way,
depending on so for me,
why can't we? Here's the question, Lubo. Why can't we?
Not just yet. We probably need 2 or 3 years around the top 4 before we're in a position to challenge.
I'll ask another point on that. Who's to say? Let's just say. I'm literally hypothetical. Spurs have a really good run in the Champions League, good run in the cups, maybe get to a final, if not win it or not. And we look strong in the league, right? We look strong in the league. Here's my point. Who's to say we can't, as I said, go out there and make a real showcase of a signing? And again, Alvarez, Goncalo Ramos, who plays at PSG, doesn't matter who, but let's just say you get a statement number 9 in. Who's to say
think they're going to come to Spurs?
I think if you can convince a big name striker, by the way, this is all dependent on.
You just said we could sign Alvarez and Kane, and now you're saying how do you convince?
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I'm trying to work it out. Like, can you get? The point is I don't think you can get 2 because I don't think we're that club. Can you get 1? I think you can. Yeah, I think you can get a statement number 9 in.
Kane, I can see Spurs getting. Alvarez, I couldn't. I'd love to see the 2 of them together. I think that'd be terrific. you know, we talk about a lack of strength in depth up front at the moment. To have two strikers like that would be phenomenal. And we all want the best for our club, and we all want as many top players in our club as well.
Before we go, are we beating Doncaster? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Are we beating Brighton?
Brighton, tough one. I'm going to go 2-1 win before we go.
Me too.
I think I went for 3-1. I think I went for 3-1. But guys, we are going to wrap up the show. There you go, everyone. You heard it here first. Tottenham are signing Savio, Alvarez, and Kane and Wharton all next window. So Enoch are getting their wallet out. Guys, I have set a redirect. Please, I know we like to monopolize, but please go over to Luke at Spotlight on Spurs. When you get there, please smash the like, subscribe to him as well, and say the Spurs 5 raid. Take care, much love, and as always, big up to the Super Sticker. Love you, thank you very much, and as always, come on you Spurs.
Come on, you